I'm currently at the airport right now. I'm going to New York City for a Samsung event. I'm going to be traveling for like 8 hours, and I thought this might be the perfect opportunity to test out a brand new pair of headphones I just got. Check these out, guys. Don't those look crazy? So they're called the Noom One. They're a Japanese headphone, and they cost $300. Now, they're taking open back headphones to an entirely new level. I think these are actually called open ear headphones for obvious reasons. Now, I'm gonna test out a lot of different things on these, like the audio quality, convenience, and obviously how comfortable they are for 8 hours of travel time. But I'm also a little bit concerned just because they're so open. I wonder if there's going to be a lot of sound leakage. Now, Noom specifically addressed this with me and told me that they have something called PSZ technology. It's supposed to really soften the sound leakage so that you can enjoy your, media, your music, your TV shows, your movies, and not really disturb other people around you. Now, I'm going to be in a really intimate setting on an airplane sitting next to strangers. I'm not traveling with anyone today, so I'm a little bit concerned that I'm not going to really be able to turn up the volume very much without disturbing the people next to me. But I guess, we're gonna have to find out about that. The secondary side mission for this is since I'm going to that Samsung event, I'm gonna be hanging out with a lot of the best tech creators on YouTube. I want to put these in the hand of a couple of them and on the ear, kind of get their take, how they sound, and what they think about this crazy design. So should be a fun little video. We'll do a little testing and review today. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe, but without further ado, let's get to testing. All right, so I just got off my first flight trying out the Noom One. It actually went pretty good, so I want to kind of go over a couple things. First things first, I was walking onto my flight and I knew I was about to have an awkward conversation with whoever my neighbor was because I was going to be sitting next to a stranger, and as I stated before, I was nervous about the sound leakage, so here's how that went.
Great. I'm testing these headphones out today, and they have kind of an open back thing. If you hear sound and it bothers you, just tap me, because I don't know if it's gonna leak out at all. It shouldn't. It's not supposed to, but yeah, don't feel rude. Just
Now that we got the awkward conversation out of the way, it was time to pair the Noom One headphones with my Samsung phone, and I opened up the app and I kind of was going through some of these different sound settings. I found that for music, I either like the original balanced preset or I liked clear voice. Just kind of depended on the song. Didn't really notice too much of a difference when I went to the more bass option. More treble didn't sound very good to me, and dynamic sounded horrible. So maybe next flight I'll tinker around a little bit with some of the custom user settings. I wanted to start out by testing some different songs at different volumes. I started off around 60%, and I'm going to get increasingly louder with each song until my neighbor complains or until the Noom One headphones can get to max volume without any complaints at all. Spoiler warning, I do play Megadeth at 100% volume as the final boss. I started off by listening to The Weeknd at around 50% volume, and then I very subtly started to glance around just to see if it looked like anybody had noticed, but the coast was definitely clear. That's when I decided to turn things up a notch, and I played the next song by Puddle of Mudd at around 75% volume, and this time the music felt way louder, so I started to stress out just a little bit that my neighbors were going to hear and start complaining. But my neighbors still didn't elbow me with a noise complaint, so I put on Megadeth at 100% volume, and I full on started to panic. This song is so loud right now, there is just no way my neighbor can't hear this music. So one thing I noticed, if you like loud music, these are not going to be the headphones for you because the ambient sound from the airplane was way too loud for the open ear design. I should have needed maximum volume from the headphones just to enjoy the music because the plane was so loud itself. I do realize that these headphones may not be designed for in-airplane use, but at the end of the day, I feel like the ultimate test for any pair of headphones is how they do in airports and on flights. Next up, I wanted to test out watching a movie on the headphones, and I went with American Psycho, which in hindsight may not be the best movie to watch in public.
It was at this moment that
Either way, to fully enjoy it, I kept the sound on maximum volume, and then I switched the sound mode to clear voice so I could hear the dialogue better. Especially with an older movie like this, I did notice that at times it was really difficult to hear what the characters were saying, so maximum volume was an absolute must. Now, other notable things I did want to mention is that the headphones are only 185 grams, and because of this, they are super comfortable to wear. In fact, they're so lightweight that for most of the flight, I forgot they were even on my head at all. Also, I did want to mention that inside the airplane, it was getting a little bit stuffy and hot, so I reached up and I twisted open that little above head vent. Normally, you can't feel it very well if you have those big, bulky headphones on, but because there's holes in the side of these, I could actually feel a breeze coming through and touching my ears, and that was super refreshing and nice. Okay, so the plane just landed. I finished watching a movie, we listened to a lot of music, and now it was time to have my second second of 2 awkward conversations with my neighbor to see what she thought or if the audio was bothering her at all. Did the audio bug you at all? You didn't even hear it?
Anything, no.
Perfect. Awesome, thanks.
Yeah.
And it's safe to say the flight was an absolute success. My neighbor wasn't bothered and I enjoyed my content. All right, so we finally landed. As you can see, I'm kind of just walking around the streets of New York City right now, just getting a little bit more exposure and testing out of the Noom One headphones. A lot of people have come up to me asking me about them because they look so interesting. A lot of people think they're a fashion statement, and I got to admit, they do look pretty fashionable if I do say so myself. It's kind of a weird experience having the whole open ear experience with the music going and being able to just hear all the ambient sounds in the streets here. But like I said, the game plan is after a little more testing tonight. Tomorrow I go to the Samsung event. I'll see a couple of my creator friends, and hopefully we can get some of their opinions on what they think of the Noom One headphones as well. So yeah, I'll just cut till tomorrow.
Oh, shoot. Whoa, these are crazy, bro. I feel like I'm living in the year 3000. Sound nice. And I can still hear my voice the entire time. They sound great. They feel great. They're light. Like an 8 for sure. 8.5, yeah.
Like a little purse. Oh, that's smooth when they open. Super curious to hear how they sound.
What kind of music you want to hear?
Just play that new Linkin Park. So I can still hear the outside, but it's like right in my ear.
You can turn the tweeters to direct the music directly.
Oh, really?
Here. Yep.
Oh, that's dope. I like these. Super new, super different. You know, a lot of headphones are really bulky, and I get a lot of ear fatigue on my left ear. These almost feel almost weightless. I do want to hear how it sounds louder. I'm not sure if it was the loudest, but this tweeter adjustment, dude, that's so cool. So overall, I give this like a 7.5. Can I take these home?
No way.
Oh, man.
After that, we headed down to the Samsung event to film a bunch of new devices that are going to be coming out in about a month. Feel free to go check out that video after you're done watching this one. I'll link it afterward. And then I started walking back to my hotel while enjoying my music with my new headphones. Walking through the streets of downtown Manhattan and hearing all the sounds of the city was definitely an interesting experience. I have to say that the Noom One headphones do this part perfectly. I got to thinking this might actually be the exact use case that Noom had in mind when creating these. The listening experience was excellent, and I was able to completely connect with my outside environment simultaneously. Even walking along with friends and being able to hear them and talk back, conversating without ever having to pause my music or remove my headphones from my ear was really awesome. I know this is the second time I'm saying it, but it's so easy to forget you even have these headphones on, not only because they're lightweight, but also because you're so connected with everything, there's really no reason to ever touch them or mess with them. And it's not just music listening either, because I use these headphones to fully edit 3 different videos on my laptop throughout my trip, and I really enjoyed that experience as well. All right, so the plan is I'm going to turn on Spotify right now. I'm going to turn it up to maximum volume and just kind of test the sound suppression that the Noom One are doing. This is my friend Facundo. Facundo, say what's up.
Hey, what up?
All right, so yeah, anyway, he's going to be our test dummy and let us know if he could hear any sound leakage coming from the Noom One headphones, so let's do it. Wait, we're at 60% volume right now listening to Master of Puppets by Metallica. Facundo, can you hear anything?
No.
There is slight ambient noise because we're in the lobby of our hotel right now. So there's a few people talking and a little bit of like ambient music going on in the background, but let's go ahead and boost it up to like 80% volume and see if you can hear anything. All right, we're at 80% volume. Let's see.
Very slightly.
So you can hear.
Now I can. Now.
Okay, so now he's starting to hear it.
Yeah.
All right, let's turn it up to 100 and see how loud it gets. How can you hear it?
Yeah, definitely.
You can hear it?
Yeah, well, not. It's not too loud to the point where it, but you can still hear it.
All right, I'm going to make him wear them so I can be the judge. One sec. Okay, I can 100% hear, and I can tell what song it is, so that's too loud. And that's with background music and people talking in the lobby, so sound leakage, definitely a thing to consider. Alright, so I am back at the airport, finally on my way home, and I wanted to sit down and kind of collectively give you guys my final thoughts after testing out the Noom 1 all the way throughout my trip. First up, they have a very premium feel, and they're not as gimmicky as I was expecting. I also enjoy the listening experience a lot because the high and the mid-tones come through extremely well, but the bass is basically non-existent. I would say the sound quality is good, but not great, and that's perfectly in line with what this product is intended to do in the first place. They really allow the user to enjoy their music and media while remaining fully connected with the outside world. And unlike a lot of tech that I review these days, the Noom 1 have a serious identity and they stick to it well. Not gonna lie, walking through the airport and hearing every announcement over the loudspeakers without having to take off my headphones was really nice too. With that said, it's not all perfect though, and I definitely do have some suggestions and feedback for Noom on a 2.0 version. First up, I would love to see a swivel hinge that connects the headband to the ear cups. This way the ear cups can lay flat in a case or on my chest while I have them around my neck. And also at a $300 price point, I think these headphones, since they're so premium, they definitely need to come with a proper hard shell carrying case. I do like that cardboard one because as you could even see when my friend Facundo tried it out, it was really fun for him to see it. However, it's really big and bulky and there's no way to secure it closed. Instead, we need some type of zipper or Velcro. Also, the headphones don't get loud enough and the bass is not very good. That said, I do understand that these are both limitations to the actual design itself. Any more volume or bass and you run the risk of seriously bothering people around you, and with max volume, I was already on the verge of doing that as it is. Another thing I want to point out is I tried to do several different phone calls with friends and family members while wearing the Noom 1. I realized that the voices coming through are super low. I was constantly asking them to speak up, to which they were getting irritated telling me they were speaking really loud as it was, and also they could hear a lot of background noise coming out of the airport as well. I tried to toggle on the sound feature where it's supposed to isolate my voice, but it just didn't seem to work as expected. So these last two aren't necessarily suggestions for Noom, but just things I noticed while wearing these headphones. At the first airport, I sat down to edit at one of those charging tables, and the girl next to me was eating a snack, and because these are open ear design and I could hear my environment, I could hear every time she was crunching and chewing, which unfortunately was really loud, and it's a big pet peeve of mine, so something to note if that bothers you. Final thought, I actually really enjoy hiding behind my ANC headphones. This way I don't have to engage in awkward small talk with random strangers on an airplane or in the terminal. And because these are so open design, it actually did quite the opposite. It encouraged people to come up and talk to me. I got in more than a dozen different conversations in the airport and throughout the city of people who were wondering what these are, what they do, what they feel like, and I was constantly having to explain what they are, hand them over to people. I actually had a good time with it, but it's because I'm a geek and I love this type of technology and I like sharing joy and teaching people about this stuff. But if you don't like that, if you don't like being social and you just want to be secluded by yourself and you don't want anyone else talking to you, these may not be the best headphone for you just because they have such a unique look.